The airport buzzed with the usual chaos of travelers rushing to catch flights. At Dallas Love Field Airport, the final boarding call echoed through Gate 12. Barron, 17, quietly scrolled, avoiding attention. But today, that skill would be put to the test. A gate agent, an older man with a sharp gaze, approached. Something about Barrona's posture, his presence seemed to bother him. "Excuse me, young man," the agent said, his tone edged with suspicion. "Are you sure you're in the right boarding group?" Barron looked up, confused but calm. "Yes, I have a first-class ticket." The agent eyed his phone, his casual hoodie, and sneakers. "Can I see your ticket?" Barron hesitated. This wasn't the first time he had been singled out. But something about this man's tone felt different. He handed over his digital boarding pass. The agent scanned it. His expression shifted. "Barron Trum?" he read aloud. There was a pause, brief but loaded. Whispers started among passengers. Barron could feel eyes on him. Then the agent walked away. Moments later, he returned with a supervisor. "There seems to be an issue with your ticket," the supervisor said. "Please step aside while we sort this out." Barron frowned. "What issue?" "I booked this ticket weeks ago." The supervisor remained firm. "Please step aside, sir." As Barron moved away from the gate, passengers began recording on their phones. He could hear the murmurs grow louder. This didn't feel right. Minutes passed. Then, security officers arrived. "Sir, we need to verify your identity. Please come with us." Barron exhaled sharply, grabbing his backpack. He wasn't afraid, just in disbelief. How had a routine flight turned into this? Melania Trump finds out. Across the city, in a black SUV, Melania Trump's phone vibrated. She had planned a quiet visit to surprise Barron before his flight. But nowhere screen was flooded with messages. "Something's happening with Barron at the airport. People are posting videos." She clicked on one. The footage showed Barron surrounded by security, being led away from the gate. Her expression hardened. "Driver, hurry!" The confrontation. At the airport, Melania didn't need an introduction. The moment she stepped inside, heads turned. Her heels clicked against the tile floor, her presence commanding. She strode straight to the security office. When she arrived, 2 officers stood outside the door. They stiffened as she approached. "What is going on here?" she demanded. One officer hesitated. "Ma'am, this is just a standard protocol." "Holding my son in a room for an hour over a ticket?" she cut in. "That's your protocol?" Inside, Barron sat at a metal table, arms crossed, staring at the blank wall. When he looked up and saw his mother, his shoulders relaxed slightly. The officers exchanged nervous glances. "His name was flagged in the system," one finally admitted. Melania's eyes narrowed. "Flagged? Because he's my son?" Silence. "You had his passport, his ticket. What else did you need?" One officer swallowed. "It was a misunderstanding, ma'am." Melania's voice was steady but sharp. "A misunderstanding?" She glanced at Barron. "Do you treat every passenger like this? Or just the ones you decide to single out?" The room fell silent. The officers had no answer. The apology. Outside, the terminal was still buzzing with speculation. Passengers who had witnessed the scene were waiting for answers. Then, the airport official stepped forward. His voice wavered slightly, but he spoke loud enough for everyone to hear. "We sincerely apologize for the events that took place earlier today. This was a misunderstanding, and we regret the inconvenience caused to Mr. Trump." A murmur spread through the crowd. Some nodded in agreement. Others weren't convinced. Melania stepped forward, her voice calm but unyielding. "Thank you for your words," she said. "But words are not enough." The official stiffened. "This is not just about my son," she continued. "This is about every traveler. Every person deserves to be treated with respect regardless of their name." The crowd erupted in applause. Some people even stood in solidarity. The official lowered his head, visibly embarrassed. The airport had made its statement, but Melania had made hers. Aftermath. In the lounge, Barron sat across from his mother, hands clasped. "I didn't expect all that," he admitted. Melania put down her phone, her expression softening. "You handled yourself well." Barron shrugged. "I've dealt with this before, just not this publicly." Melania leaned forward. "And that's exactly the problem. No one should have to get used to this." She picked up her phone and typed, "Today my son experienced something no one should have to endure." Respect is not a privilege, it is a right. She hit post. Within minutes, the tweet was everywhere. The flight home. When it was finally time to board, the airline staff didn't dare delay them again. They were escorted through without another word. As they settled into their seats, Melania glanced at her son. Barron had already put on his headphones, staring out the window. She smiled faintly. This hadn't just been about Barron. This was about anyone who had ever been made to feel small. And sometimes, the biggest lessons come from moments like these.